Hello duelists! Russ Merrow here, and today was the premiere of the brand new Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's anime. I've watched the first episode just now, and I do have some thoughts about it, and that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. In a nutshell, I'm excited. I don't think it was a great or an amazing episode, it didn't blow my mind away, but it was good. And it was a lot better than what I was expecting, honestly. Because I think with the new art style, the new visuals, the new Rush Duel format, and the new age group of the characters, we were all expecting a very kiddie series similar to the current Duel Masters anime in Japan, but honestly, it's not. From this first episode, I am very confident that they're not going in that kind of direction. It is true that they're trying to aim at a younger target audience with this new anime and Rush Duel format, but they're not dumbing things down in terms of the story and characters, so if there are any of you guys who have been avoiding the Sevens anime or getting into Sevens because of that, I urge you guys to at least give the first episode a try. Now I'll be talking about how I felt watching the first episode from start to finish. There will be some minor spoilers and screenshots, but I promise you guys that there will be no major spoilers at all. So if you guys are alright with that, let's get on with this video. So let's start with the opening. Now, I apologize in advance if there are any of you guys out there who really enjoyed the opening and opening song, but for me, I really didn't like either. I didn't like the opening song at all, and I also didn't like the opening visuals, except for maybe the first few, which were really cool. I thought that within the entire episode, the opening was the most dumbed down, childish part. So after watching it, my expectations for the series really dropped to rock bottom. And because of that, unlike with VRAINS, I don't think I might be English covering the opening of Sevens after all, but if you guys really want me to, do let me know in the comment section down below. Fortunately, things got a lot better once the actual story and episode got started. So the first half of the episode is pretty simple. Yuga basically goes to school and he meets the other main characters in the series, namely the other three main protagonists. And so far I find all of the four main characters really unique, interesting, and really well characterized in the first episode alone. Most of what happens is just the four of them having dialogue between each other, but just from the dialogue alone you get such a good sense of the different personalities of these characters, and they're all just kind of likable in their own way. They're so unique, they stand out. It's really nice to watch. And even though age-wise they're supposed to fit into the elementary school group, there's honestly no intentional dumbing down to cater to children at all. Their mental ages based on their interactions in the first episode are pretty much the same as all the other Yu-Gi-Oh! Series so far. Yuga's personality is honestly not that much different maturity-wise from maybe Yuma or Yuya either. Of course you can't compare him to Yusei or Yusaku, but because those two are the darker, really more mature, older kind of characters. And the best part is, there's no pandering to kids. In some Japanese kids shows, because they feel jokes are the only way that kids nowadays will be entertained, there's a lot of stupid, unnecessary gags that are much more cringe-worthy than they're actually funny, but there is none of this in Sevens. There is some humor, but it's legit humor, it's actually laughable at, and it comes out through the interactions of the characters and who they are as people. And so, honestly, it's just really enjoyable to watch. The characters so far, they're great. Also, Yuga actually has a really good reason for why he actually wants to establish this new Rush Duel format to make dueling more free and enjoyable for everyone in Goha City, and I'm sure you guys after watching the first episode will be able to get a sense of why this is the case, so I'm not going to go into too much detail here. And so far, Luke is honestly a really cool and respectable rival character. There is one thing he does in this first episode, and I'll show it to you guys in a screenshot here, but I don't think you guys will be able to understand without the context. You will once you watch the episode for yourself, but this scene right here, where he shows this thing, it's pretty epic, it's just really cool. And I think it's because, for me, it really establishes that he's not some kind of arrogant arrogant genius rival kind of character, say maybe Kaiba, but he's actually really humble in his own way and pretty diligent and hardworking as well in order to achieve his own goals and dreams. And he does respect Yuga based on everything that happens in the first episode. So I think Yuga and Luke's relationship so far is kind of most similar to Okay, most recently I think it's quite similar to Yusaku and Revolver's relationship, just without like the history and the grudge, but just the current dynamic of that relationship is similar to theirs, and that's what I really like. That's what I really like to see in a villain. I mean rival. And as for the student council president and the band girl, like so far we still don't know too much about them yet, but there is a lot of interaction that comes from this first episode that tells you all about their personalities, but I'm still gonna wait on more exposition about the two of them before I talk about them in more detail. And now moving into the second half of the episode, Yuga basically has a duel against this mysterious duelist. And honestly, one of the things I was most happy to see was the animation for the duel, like how the monsters are summoned and how the monsters attack each other as well, because I think, oh my god, this animation is what I've been waiting for 2 seasons. Like, for me, Zale was the peak of Yu-Gi-Oh's current animation style. It started to dip a bit in Arc 5, but it was still okay, and in VRAINS, it just completely went down the drain. Now with SEVENS, they've got a new studio, so the art style and animation style is different as well. It's a bit more reminiscent of the original style we saw in Duel Monsters DM and in the GX generation. So some of you guys who are more used to the newer generations of Yu-Gi-Oh! And so-called like a better digital animation might not be that much of a fan of it, but I'm okay with it, and I thought like the actual animation for the monsters and their actions was much more fluid and dynamic compared to what we got in VRAINS and Arc 5, and for that I am just so thankful. It's just so enjoyable to watch the monsters clash and like attack each other. Like, that's part of the fun of watching the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, you know, and I'm so glad that this is finally back. And the most important part, the animation and action hypes you up. When you watch Yuga and the mysterious duelist rush duel, it makes you wanna duel or rush duel yourself, and you know, just join in the moment, put down your cards, and I think that's the most important part of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime and what it's actually supposed to achieve, which I think was still present up to Arc 5 but was severely lacking in VRAINS, because although the duels in VRAINS were really nice to watch because of like the strategizing and the mentaling, trying to predict the opponent's movements and all, it just didn't have the same hype and excitement because of the way it was animated. But now we have that back, and I am way more hyped to try out Rush Duel once my new Rush Duel products arrive next week. I still have to say though that I still really do not like 7th Road Magician's design, as well as his like animation sequences because of his design, so there's that. But it's just a minor complaint. So yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about the first episode without getting into too much details and spoiling everything. I think the main 3 points are that it's better than expected, it's not dumbed down, and the animation is nice to watch, it's fluid and exciting. So if there are any of you guys who are like on the fence of getting into SEVENS, or were kind of turned off by like the trailer with the new art style, please at least do give the first episode a watch. Give it a chance to change your mind, because I am seriously excited to see what's going to happen in the future episodes. And a quick Rush Duel product update, my starter deck set of starter deck Yuga and starter deck Luke is confirmed to arrive. Earliest by next week Tuesday, so by next week Tuesday evening, you guys will be seeing a video uploaded on my channel with an opening of the very first Rush Duel product in the Yu-Gi-Oh! OCG Rush Duel series. So if you guys are new, make sure to stay subscribed so that you guys don't miss out on that, and with that, I hope to see you guys in the next Yu-Gi-Oh! Video. Shh. Our chance encounter brought color deep into my life. I will shelter you, protect